So now moving on to filtering and conditional filtering. So lookup function is done, filtering and conditional filtering. Okay, cool. So filtering and conditional filtering, we already discussed. Like I wanted to explain it now, but basically we discussed about it at the beginning of the lecture as well. Basically, if I want to do a filtering on a particular column, so suppose quantity, okay. So click on quantity, and if I want to click on like one particular value, you can do that 4, 5, 6, simple, and it will give you a quantity of those rows which are values of those rows which are having this quantity 4, 5, 6, right? Okay, now if I want to give any range in that, you can use this choose one instead of and use between. I wanted to choose between 4 to 6. Click on enter. That's all. So everything will be sorted between 4 to 6. It won't show case here, but yeah, you can see that greater than or equal to 4, less than or equal to 6. So everything will come up 328 rows in terms of 4 to 6. So similarly, you can use a range. Similarly, you can use greater than top 10 values if you want to just select. Okay, that's all. You can select, you can see that these are the top 10 values that we have basically in terms of quantity. Okay, if you want to just go to bottom 10, you'll get the bottom 10 values as well. So it's not unique, but basically it is giving me bottom 10 value in terms of items. Okay, now if I want to select above average, so now whatever average value will be there, it will select everything in terms of quantity, and all the rows will be affected, all the columns will be affected, and it will give me all the values. So becomes a bit of part of data analysis if you want to do data analysis on one particular column and see all those rows which are like above average value of a particular column, then you can just choose this particular thing and use it. Okay, so this was about filtering and conditional filtering. So basically it's filtering and like we are putting it on a condition, like whether we want to give it in a range or things like that, and then see how it works. Okay. I hope it will be clear, and then you won't be having any doubt. If you have any, just let me know.
One thing I want to ask, like in the Vlookup and the Hlookup, in the Hlookup, we are basically doing the extra work. So we always do we always try to make the transpose of the data set and then do the operation and
See,
yeah.
we don't. I don't have the data which is like very I mean it. I don't have the data which is basically transformed like this. So I did the transpose and then showed the Hlookup to you. Basically Hlookup is rarely used. When you have to use it, you'll mostly use Vlookup only. But yeah, I just wanted to show that Hlookup is the difference between Vlookup and Hlookup basically is you are doing the same thing, the key value, the range, just that instead of column value, column index, you are just giving a row index in Hlookup, and that's how it is selecting the data. But Hlookup is rarely used. Mostly you'll use Vlookup in the industry, and people will ask you about the Vlookup only. The question that they will ask is basically on the formula. Okay. This transpose, going back to the question, this transpose was necessary because I wanted to redesign my data accordingly. That's all. So right now it is not considering row ID as our key when it's trying to find out. Okay, that's why it was not able to find out when we were trying to use the formula in these two tables. So if we transpose it, now it is selecting data from the destination in destination from the source, where the source is basically each and every row of your key data as well. Okay, so that's why it is thinking in terms of rows, not in terms of columns, whereas VLOOKUP thinks in terms of columns, not in terms of rows, basically. Excuse
Okay,
me. And
okay,
although
okay.
it gives the values in VLOOKUP in terms of rows, but HLOOKUP gives you values in terms of column, but thinks like basically it considers data as your horizontal table. In VLOOKUP, it considers data as your vertical table. That's all. That's the difference. Mostly you'll use in the industry, you'll use VLOOKUP. The interview question that they might ask to you is basically what is, so if you type HLOOKUP, what is the first thing that you put in your HLOOKUP? So you always say
Key.
lookup value, key value, and then the table array, like we will say that from the source data, whatever data range that we want to put it, we put it, and then the row index. Okay, for the for row index is basically for HLOOKUP, and that's the difference. If you will see VLOOKUP, it will give you column index. Okay, column index number, and that will give you row index number. That's all. And then the range lookup basically is an option of exact match or approximate match. So these four things, if you explain, they will understand that you know Excel, you know VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, and that's all.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, got it. Thank you.